G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 5 of my Lightning Deceiver playthrough with Dave. Before we get into this, I've just read a comment earlier this morning that I'd forgotten to go and talk to the villagers over here about how I saved their village and they should give me some free stuff. And that's absolutely true. Now, I did say on the way through that I would probably forget this, so thank you very much to whoever that was. I can't find the comment now, so I don't know if it was deleted or what's happened there, but thank you to whoever it was who posted that. Free XP. Also, today is Operation Get a, what is it called? Chosen Mask? Chosen Visage? Something like that. We are here for a helmet. It's going to give bonuses to the old lightning box, and the way we get it is by getting through this section, through the tunnel to the next section, and then killing a whole bunch of Chosen. So, actually, I'm pretty sure you can farm it from, what's her name? Sister someone or other. Anyway, I know where she lives, even though I can't remember her name, so we're going to go and pay her a beating, and we'll get that helmet. The other thing I'm looking for while I'm here is just here, actually, because I think I might want to stand in that little circle where I don't die. This little temple, which should be showing up on the map here any second, it's just off to the side here. This temple has a devotion shrine in it, and I need to get that devotion shrine. So, let's go in here. If you are doing the Drig quest line, one of their quests is in here. I can't remember, it may be their honored quest, but they definitely have a quest to come in here and kill the boss of this little dungeon, which is good because it's nice and easy, and you have to come in here for a devotion shrine anyway, so you kind of may as well. Alright, I see a hero, so let's go ahead and throw them a box. Everybody gets their own boxes. There we go. Actually doing better damage than I remembered here, so can't complain too much about it. Eldritch Spore just kind of hanging out there. Hello? Okay, sure. Anyway, free XP. So here's the devotion shrine. As always, it is a fight devotion shrine. Let's get in the circle here just so I don't die too much. And we'll go ahead and turn this on. Reflective and old mate Alzamar back here. Okay, sure. That's definitely one of the names of all time. This guy's gonna stand up. I actually wasn't thinking that that would trigger him to stand up, but I knew he would stand up, so I was getting ready to kill him. Wasn't really super ready to kill his friend, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and take both of them out. Have you got a storm box? You definitely do. There we go. So, one devotion point awarded. Let's go ahead and bring up the plan. There we go. So, we should be... Actually, where am I up to? The Widow. One more for Arcane Bomb. That is going to be quite a large boost in damage. Alright, so boss is over here, and the boss is relatively not scary. I'm kind of just going to run up here and blow it up. Yep, poor Drig. I think she means it. So this is Navan the Usurper. There's poison everywhere. As long as you stay in the circle, you'll be fine, and she won't. There we go. The poison I think was from the dogs, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But that's fine. So Navan or Navan, or however you want to say that, she's dead, and we have got a Spellblade of Insanity. The loot's not very great. Got some hidden loot behind the wall though, so that's always fun. Not that we're going to use either of those. And we are done in here. So the only other thing in this area that I need to find is, one, I kind of want to do that totem. But two, that star on the map there is Canaan's corpse. And Canaan is the, I guess, the apprentice to the transmuter, or I'm not exactly sure what his position is, but he's dead and he had a book. And we need to go ahead and grab that book. So I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. Or, you know, maybe a lot of it. I want to get down there. Here's my totem. I did say I wanted to do the totem, so let's go ahead and do that. And if you guys could just do that thing where you all die horribly, that'd be great. And here we go. Plaguewing is dead. Plaguewing's friends are... Please die. There we go. They're dead as well. And I picked up the Vile Scorn leggings. Armor downgrade, complete lack of resistance. Well, I guess that has vitality. Yeah, no, not for me. Ranger's helm. It's actually not horrible, but it's also not really what I'm after. So go ahead and eat that. And did I see a lore note here? I did. There it is. That's actually not bad as well. Mage Storm Gun. That Aether Lightning proc is definitely one of my favorites. Okay, so Kanan is down here. And like I said, we just need his book. The Tome of Eonatum. Stonehide pants are always good to see. There we go. And Arashor. Ancient Heart, lovely drop. Okay, so let's get out of here. We are now done. Devotion Shrine completed. Quest objective collected. Totem deleted. Let's head for the next rift. Maybe throw a storm box or two out there as well. Why not? We can maybe throw a few extras out. Okay. So this will be the last rift we find before we get to the vanguard of the three. Also, just here, if you're into secret little hidden areas, you will find a blacksmith. So there's some loot up there, which I'll get to in a second, but you also have Egilon, Egelion? I don't know. Egilon, who will allow you to transmute between the various Eldritch Essences and Celestial Lotus. I don't think you can transmute into Celestial Lotus. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% confident, but I don't think that's a thing you can do. And I also don't know why you would ever turn a Celestial Lotus into an essence there like that. That seems like a very bad idea. But anyway, maybe there's a reason why you might want to. Okay, so Gravathul, no, not Gravathul, Ganavakar is up this way. And I think I'm just going to run past him, honestly. He doesn't drop anything I'm interested in. Alright, maybe I'm just going to kill him. Now, he is going to Sunder, which, there it is, I don't love. So we can just kind of bounce around. Every time he does his big Sunder animation, I'm going to evade through him. Actually, he's got a lot of health. It's definitely not worth the time to kill him. Let's just move on. If you want to kill him, you can do it. Just avoid the Sunder and you'll be fine. Only engage if you're standing inside your circle of you can't kill me, and you'll be fine. This is something I don't get to show very often. So the Corvin Secrets is a very special loot chest, which only appears very, very rarely. Actually, I lie. There's one of them in every single game, but there's something like 50 or 60 spawn locations for it, so unless you are specifically looking for this, you're unlikely to find it. And it drops... Dun, 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 dun. Celestial Essence, which is not something I want to be using, actually. So this is the... Where is it? That one right there. This is the rare crafting ingredient that is used to summon Kalagadra, which is not something I want to be messing with. If you're in softcore, you can go ahead and summon Kalagadra if you wish. You can go to the docks, the Cairn docks just here, and run south. There'll be like an altar, and you can select the correct text options, and you will summon Kalagadra, and she will eat your lunch, your breakfast, your face, and everyone you know. You are... Pretty much no leveling character is going to kill that, except by maybe kiting. And I strongly recommend avoiding. If you're playing hardcore and you want to start again, that's a good way to get rid of the character. However, like I said, we are here for... Oh, hello. Grimoire is definitely worth killing for the loot. We are here because of the helmet, and we will be killing things that will drop the helmet fairly soonish. Alright, Terra I don't really care about. Tour and Step I'll pick up. And we do actually have a nice little hidden section up here on the cliff for some hidden loot. Did he actually drop? He may have dropped that. I don't think he did, but he may have dropped that. He'll drop the essences. He doesn't drop Celestial Lotus for now, at least.
That skill's not ready.
I definitely remember farming that when I was trying to transmute. I think it was what's that acid retaliation set that's everywhere? Can't think of it. Anyway, you know the one. And if you don't, look in the comments. Someone will tell me. Okay, respected with Soleil. Respected with Bismail? Maybe not. Let me have a look. Okay, so we chose to side with Soleil, that's why. Which means we can now buy their equipment that we won't be able to use for another 33 levels. Okay, this one's also fun. You can stand in this and it'll eat your health bar. And it does absolutely nothing until ultimate. Okay, skill points. I definitely want some more Invigor. More armor, more better. More health, more better. So this would be really nice. A couple more in Word of Renewal wouldn't be horrible, but I am actually thinking about taking a point out of that. In fact, I am going to go ahead and do that right now. With the +1 to Inquisitor skills from the amulet, I only want that skill at 5 points, so I'm going to get one of my points back there. And I think we go up for Steel Resolve. One more point, we'll be able to get a point in that. Actually, I want that 1 point. So, a little bit of elemental damage, but the damage to Chthonics and Eldritch is going to be useful for this section, and Aether and Chaos Res is pretty much always useful. Definitely something you want to be watching out for going into Act 7 is these resistances that are not particularly useful in the base game until sort of Homestead area are things that you can get slammed by. So you do want to watch out for it. Alright, Mr. Rage Flame here. He doesn't have the hat that I'm after, so I'm not too worried about him. We do have the Soleil quests, which means I should have a temple up here to go into. There is also... Let me get in the circle. There is also an Exalted chest in this section. The first place you want to check for it is just here. Which, just up there. It's not there for me. But I'll have a look. I do want to get the hidden loot in here, though. We've got hidden spoils and a few other things over there. Mage Storm. Too low level for those percentages to matter. Okay, and you know what? I'm just going to walk away from this guy. Alright, so we have the Eye of Eker, however you say that. And now we have to activate this here altar. So we're going to place the Eye of Eker on there, and then we're going in. So each of the 3 witch gods will send you into a pocket plane of some description. And then you have to kind of fight your way through it. Which isn't going to be too hard. For this one, you want to make your way up to the top left corner. This is a little scary because that's a lot of chaos damage. The Inquisitor's Circle is kind of saving my tushy here. So before I stop to fight anything, I want to place down an Inquisitor's Seal. And I would just want to throw storm boxes on everything I can. Alright, and you get your very own storm box and a rune as well, which you didn't live long enough to trigger. That's fine. Alright, so I can see Onorix the Razorhide. He's over there. He is very similar to the other big dinosaur-looking dude. chaos damage. Definitely don't love that. I'm waiting for the sundering attack. I think I might back off, see if I can't get him to stand in the seal as well. Having said that, I also don't want to be out of my own seal at some point. There we go, the old one disappeared. And we're just going to make a new one here, just in case. And of course he's healing, because obviously. Alright, I'm just gonna run away. If he can't hit me, he can't heal. So that would have been the smart thing to do. Alright, any of this stuff worth looking at? I don't think so, but it's a definite maybe. Boots are always good to look at, although in 3 levels I'm going to have boots and gloves from Homestead. Assuming I can equip them. I may not actually have the reputation required to get them. Same for the Rovers stuff. Which is an easy problem to solve. For sure. Okay, next place I'm going to be looking for the Exalted Stash. I'm pretty sure it has to be here. From memory, there's only 2 places this does spawn. Yeah, here it is. There we go. You'll love to see it. Guaranteed blue item from every one of those Exalted Stashes. And once you get to level 50, it's a guaranteed blue or purple item. So they are pretty much always worth clicking on. Coerced Wraith. Fired Lightning conversion is not horrible. I think I'm going to keep the Stormcaller's Effigy. This one you are guaranteed pretty much to have these unless you've been burning a whole bunch of cracked lodestones to, I don't know, maybe craft some Hellsbane ammo. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Arcane Bomb, which at the moment is minus 5% lightning resistance, but it's also an AoE that does lightning damage. So that is going to be quite powerful. Do I want to go into the temple? I don't think I need to go into the temple. Let me just have a quick look here. Bring that back to... Let's go turn this in just in case. I'm pretty sure the temple is only for the Bismail quest lines. Okay, I'm ready to lead the assault for you. And let's go ahead and vendor all of this. I'm also tempted to vendor the summon Kalagadra thing, just so as I can't do it by accident. Because knowing me, I'm somewhat likely to just accidentally kill myself with it. I think I'll leave it though. Okay, so go get the stat point. Actually, let's go do that. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit here because I finished up the last episode with some finished quests and just didn't go and do them. Having said that, this is from before then, so 1 attribute point, which I'm going to put into Spirit. I'm going to bring Spirit up to 20, Physique up to 20, and then probably just 50-50 them. I was, I think, talking about doing 20-10 or 2-to-1 in favor of Physique. I may still do that. We'll see what happens. I'm going to skip that. That temple is pretty good for getting reputation with all 3 of the witch cults. But, yeah, they don't drop hats, and I'm kind of here for the hats. So you're going to start seeing that little green pulse there. That was this thing here. When this blows up, it'll do that green pulse. Shred, Aether, and lightning resistance, so we will do more damage to whatever gets hit by that. Also, it just does damage, so we're going to be doing a decent little bit more damage. And the more XP we get as the Arcane Bomb levels up, we will actually be doing a decent bit more damage. And everybody can have one of those. Alright, so we are now at the section where we can start collecting hats. We're looking for Chosen with yellow names. There probably are specific Chosen that can drop it. Generally speaking, you're going to want to target heroes if you can. Chosen Mask, that's the wrong one, I think. Have I just got it straight off the bat? I have. Mighty of the Aether. So Aether damage, not so great. But this is definitely the helmet that I wanted. So we're getting a whole bunch of extra electrocute damage to Stormbox. You know what? I might just chuck that on. let's actually show that. So Stormbox, 6,900. It's a pretty big increase. It's actually not as big as I was expecting. But half a second skill recharge is also quite good. All right, I'm going to show where you can find a bunch of heroes here. I'm going to show you where you can find one of these for sure. So we're going to go and kill Sister... What's her face? Let me just look this up, actually. I do want to know exactly who it is. It is Sister Crimson. And she can be found in one of the little tunnels up here. So I'm just going to push a little bit more forward. I think she's in one of the tombs rather than a tunnel. I left an ancient totem behind. Okay, that's fine. I just want to show this because, okay, I've got my hat, but what if you didn't get one to drop? Farming random drop chances is not particularly fun. So I'll show you where you can get it to drop for sure. I believe... I haven't got the map up. I should get the map up. Pretty sure it's the first one. Hang on. Let me open the map and have a look here. So Tomb of Sethan is the first one. And it is... yeah, it is the Tomb of Sethan. Okay, so it's this one right here. I know I cheated, but it is what it is. So, into the ruins. And we are at the kind of south end of this. And she is going to be along the north edge, or sort of the northeast-ish edge. Alright, let's spread the box around. Everybody gets their own box. Not really sure I want to be one-shotting this stuff with the Stormbox. Like, I want it to kind of blast a little bit, if that makes sense. Alright, and there is also... oh, hello. Hello, Sister Crimson. There is an Exalted Stash in here somewhere too. There we go, she jumped the wrong way, but that's kind of fine. Okay, so she's dropped me a Chosen Visage, so I guess it's not 100%, but she will have a helmet, one of the Chosen helmets, and then all of her other stuff as well. One day I'm going to make a build with this, the fire to lightning on Albrecht's Aether Ray, so lightning Albrecht's Aether Ray. But yeah, you can get your helmet from her. You probably have to kill her. I think is there 3 helmets? Let me double check this. Sister Crimson. Notable loot. Okay. Gaze, Mask, and Visage. So you got a 1 in 3 when you kill her. It's a much lower chance for just killing any random Chosen, even the ones with the yellow names. You've got to get them to drop any helmet at all, and then it's also a sort of a 1 in 3, I guess. Where else is this? Oh, it's in all the different tombs. Okay, so I lied about the Exalted Stash. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it'll be right here, and if it's not here somewhere, then it's not here. Okay. I am going to actually continue this. I was pretty confident that I wouldn't. I was just going to get the helmet and then be on my way. But I think I'm going to do this up to the point where I don't have any more quests in my log. So we'll go do the messenger. And we will do the preemptive strike as well. And it'll be fine. Just keep throwing storm boxes out. Eventually everything behind me will die. Right, so just coming up here, we are going to find ourselves a star on the map here any second. There's the cave, there's the tomb, there's the star. Just want to clear the area because I have to come back out this door. Also level 33. I'm going to put my 1 point back into Word of Renewal because this is good to have at 5 points. And I am pretty seriously considering chucking a few more points in here. I'm getting 1% damage to Chthonics and Eldritch, and also 3% to Aether and Chaos Res per point here. But But I do want to get to Aura of Censure as well. What's that? It's 18, so that's 6 levels where I get basically nothing. Let's get started. And I guess I've got an attribute point to spend as well, so let's do that. Alright, so this is a central area with 3 little spokes coming off of it. Each of the spokes has its very own little, oh, hello, Exalted Stash. Has its very own little pole, I guess we'll call it. Fiendbinder's hood, not really very good. Yeah, so this binding conduit accidentally blew it up, but you can bash this with your sword or scepter or whatever you're using, or you can just accidentally kill it with the Stormbox. Either one is fine. And so we go around, we get all of these. Everybody gets zapped. And apparently I didn't hit this one, so... I need a bigger stick to hit things with. Okay, Formidable of Readiness. This is not bad. That's a lot of extra armor as well. I'm putting that on. I will almost certainly swap those out again very soon. Level 35 gets the boots from Homestead, which is really, really nice. I don't seem to have a Mark of the Traveler. Nope, that's fine. I'll take them off the boots later. Okay, so 1 and 2 are already done. Need to get number 3 up here. Let's see if I can't drag some of these guys over here and accidentally blow up the... Well, it was a nice thought. Alright, so now we've got a big scorpion boss in the middle there. There is a ton of poison damage. Fortunately, I'm highly resistant to poison. Let's just go kill him. So he does sunder, and you probably should try and avoid being sundered. I think I'm going to avoid the sunders for now. There we go, and down he goes. So as always, stand in the circle. Pedala's will, necro stuff. That's not bad. Yeah, stand in the circle and you should be fine as long as you avoid that sunder. Shouldn't have any issues. Alright, so that is another quest done. So this one is actually done. This one is, bang out of the 3, I think done. Just do the messenger. And there is another devotion shrine up here. Sort of, this second half of Forgotten Gods does get a little rippy. So if you want to just farm that first section and get your helmet and leave, I definitely understand that. But there are a lot of devotion shrines in this second area. And speaking of, let's go in here. So this is going to be the Tomb of Nephos, and you can see the devotion shrine over there already, which I definitely want to get my hands on. This is another section with a quest for, I think, Drieg. But this is definitely either the Revered quest or the Honored quest. I think it's the Honored quest. Don't quote me on that. Formidable Gauntlets of Readiness. Okay. So Formidable is pretty good because of the increased effect of healing on yourself. And then Readiness is offensive and defensive ability, so getting that combination is pretty decent. Let's go through this. And I think I'm just going to turn this on. Alright. Colossus, old mate over here, really needs to die. Preferably before he strips all my buffs off. Alright, good. And +1 devotion point. Lich's prefix on a ring is another thing you want to keep your eye out for. It's going to give you pierce poison and vitality resistance. This ring also has casting speed, which is pretty good. So that ring, I actually want to put that ring aside. Put it in the I'm totally going to wear this stuff, I promise section. And we can pick up the rest of this here. Alright, and according to the plan, after the Widow, we are getting Rowan's Crown, so we're getting some more lightning stuff. What am I short on? 1 purple. Okay, so I do need to get that purple. 3 points here, and we'll get another damage proc, which is really good. Also, I think there's a treasure trove or an exalted stash in here somewhere. Might be in this section just here. Let's have a look. Obviously, there's this hidden spoils. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. I might just go around this circle once. Yeah, you know what? I'm leaving. I choose life. Alright, let's head up this way. I think I will get the next little section. I'm going to kill the messenger as well, and then I'm going to be on my way. It is a little bit scary knowing how much damage these guys do if they hit you properly. I have farmed this section way too many times looking for burning blades, or Korvax burning blades for pet Kabbalists. So I know all about how dangerous these guys are. I've had more than a few characters ended in this section. Alright, we'll just hug the left here. And then you don't have to fight all this stuff either. You can just walk past it. Granted. Alright, look. I was trying to get past, but now you're just going to have to die. Yeah, if you come through here, all these chosen, the white named ones are very unlikely to give you anything. But anything with a yellow name could potentially drop you a very nice helmet. So we can kill a few of them. Mr. Fanatic, give me a hat. Nope, no hat. That's fine. Yeah, you can definitely see how the damage stacks up with these guys doing their big, massive wind-up attacks. Alright, I'm going to take these guys out as well. Okay, so this section is kind of a whole bunch of griffins, and then in Ultimate you're likely to get several heroes here. So we've got a bunch of griffins, and then we've got the messenger. Now the messenger is decently rippy. I'm kind of not looking forward to this. We'll see how it goes. But the messenger, if you can't burn him down in a hurry, he can do a lot of damage pretty quickly. So let's go see how this goes. Generally speaking, I don't advise doing all of Forgotten Gods before you're actually up to it, but you definitely can. Alright, what does he do? I get extra damage. Okay, that's good. He gets extra chaos damage. Alright, that's not so good. And he gets piercing damage. Alright, I don't care about that. I mean, he still gets extra damage, but do I have any chaos resistance gear? Yes, yes I do. Chaos converted to fire. That's 34%. You know what? I'm going to just use that for this fight. So the lava in here is, well, it's lava, so don't stand on it. But just be aware that it will kill you. There's first form down. I'm getting ready to evade over this way when he leans forward and flaps his wings. Alright, I think I've got him. Where he leans forward like that, you definitely don't want to get hit by whatever's coming. I was thinking it was going to be the wings with the Sunder, but I didn't see the Sunder animation. So it may just be a really big attack. Either way, you don't want to get hit by that. Alright, so I've killed all of the things. There is one more devotion shrine that's easily accessible, and then I'm going to get the Rift Gate and be on my way. I'm not, I don't think, going to fight Dravis. He should be actually doable. As long as you stay out of his volcano and don't get sundered, it should be fine. But I think I just want to get on with the game at this point. And I'll maybe farm myself a new hat once the next one is available. One of the great things about the Monster Infrequence is that bonus for, so this one here, the 1262 electrocute damage to Stormbox, that is actually going to scale with level. Even on the same helmet, you'll just keep getting more and more bonuses. So you don't need to actually get a new hat every time you want to upgrade that number. Alright, welcome to the Sunward Spire. We're not going in, we're not fighting the Griffin Sovereign. We are just here for this Devotion Shrine, which is going to spawn a whole bunch of gargoyles on top of me. Or at least it usually does, so we'll see. What do we get today? We get Titan Jaw. And friends, question mark? Nope, that's it. Okay. Herald's Mask. This is another one of those leveling sets that are really good to hang on to.
My inventory is full.
Is it really? Is your inventory really full?
My inventory is full.
Maybe it is. Let me see here. Oh, we can definitely do something with this. Maybe. There we go. Cool. Starting on the Rowan's Crown here, so we're getting a bunch of elemental damage, which is really good. Some spirit, which is really good. Defensive ability, literally don't care. And then Elemental Storm, which is a really nice damage proc. I'm going to put that probably on Word of Pain, and we should be getting ready to get rid of Tsunami very soon, actually. Tsunami can probably go on Rune of Callister for a little bit. Looks like the next rift is actually after Dravis, so I am actually going to kill Dravis. I didn't really want to, but he's not super dangerous. As long as you remember to clear everything before him so you don't accidentally get dragged into more fights. These guys are both going to stand up. Alright, so Animated Preserver, we'll take him out. Eldritch Spirit, we'll take him out. And now I'm going to take these two out as well. These two pretty much always stand up, so we'll get rid of them. Then I've got this entire walkway to play with. Okay, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to get to the next level. Okay, that's fine. Was I keeping this? I was. I am definitely wearing that as soon as I can. Of the Grove is really, really strong. Also, I need to put that back on, so we'll do that. Where did my red shoulders go? There they are. Okay. Let's go ahead and melt this one because I want the add-on. Do I need this? Not really. I don't have a huge amount of options at the moment, though. So, another damage proc. You'll love to see it. I don't think I'm going to use those, and I think we can just vendor all this stuff. I want to keep the boots there because of... I'm not close enough on the physique, that's fine. Because of the component. So let's go ahead and grab that. Alright, Dravis, I don't remember him being particularly difficult any of the times I've fought him. He definitely puts a volcano under you, so if you don't have good fire resistance, prepare to die. I think he should be fine, though. We can also spend a little bit of time spreading
I can't do that yet.
spreading all kinds of rubbish all over the floor. I think I'm just going to do 3 of them, and then we can attack him. He's going to keep casting at me. I'm looking for that. Okay. He's also going to summon some friends, which he should live long enough to do. As soon as you see the thunder symbol, you definitely want to move, because that's a volcano being summoned under you. So if you get hit by it, you will definitely get sundered. You will take a lot of damage. Okay, that's the end of him. Travis was gone. Can you bring down the barrier? Thank you for your sacrifice. And stand back from the door. So he's going to blast the door down. I'm going to grab the Mother's Pendant here, which I actually don't have. I don't think we've done the quest to get that yet, but anyway. And then the next thing I'm going to do is start stacking up big explosive circles in front of this door because, well, there's a powerful guardian, as it says there, standing behind this door. There he is. So he's got a couple of big attacks that you definitely do not want to get hit by once again.
You will go no further.
I think he means it.
Your fate is dead.
And that Inquisitor's Seal disappearing underneath my feet just as he did his little breath weapon attack thing there. Yeah, that was really bad timing. I think I probably still had the Inquisitor's Seal effect because it doesn't go away immediately. Alright, this is absolutely, definitely, 100% as far as I'm going. I have no interest in fighting Father Kaiman right now, or Korvac, even though potentially, yes, I could. It's not worth the risk. Alright, and we can go ahead and chuck this in here and pretend it doesn't exist for a while. Right, see Aloria, Messenger is dead. Yes, I'm sure it's dead. And I think we are kind of stuck for a little bit. So, haven't made it to Homestead, which is why the Mother's Gift is not something I can turn in. Calderos is a very long run. I can, however, go ahead and turn in the Tome of Eonatum. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. More points in Spirit. And here is Kargan. Yes, absolutely. Fascinating. Alright, so what this gets us is not Spirit Guide, not the Illusionist. We want the Inventor. I swear there's an Inventor here somewhere. Alright, whatever, doesn't matter. There's definitely an Inventor in Devil's Crossing. Alright, hi Dalit. So now we get Transmute. We can chuck in set items, and we can transmute a set piece into another piece of the same set, and we can transmute a set piece into another random piece of a comparable level set. So, I sold the Herald piece, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. I was going to say, if you get a whole bunch of level 35 sets, you can transmute them and try and get the Herald set. I don't really think it's super worth, but anyway. Pretty sure this isn't going to get me any XP either. Nope. Okay. So we were up to the Smuggler's Pass. Now, like I said, the main reason for doing that little detour was to get one of these. Mighty of the Aether is not very good. But it will do for now, and I'll get another one later. Getting the extra electrocute damage on the main skill is the main part. It's also, yeah, +3 to lightning tether. It's all good stuff. Everybody's dying nicely. So you love to see it. The cooldown on the Stormbox is also quite nice. Alright, so back to Homestead. Or back to getting back to Homestead. The Smuggler's Pass here, this is officially the end of Act 2, with Voldrak at the end here being the Act boss. So basically we just go in and kill him. Now, this is definitely a fight you're going to want to kite, because he hits like a truck that's tied to another truck and on the back of a train. He hits really, really hard. You do not want to be in melee range, especially not with 280 odd armor. So I'm going to kite him. I'm going to recommend you do the same. And the reason I'm standing here next to this is because this Ancient Savage Totem is likely to summon the Stone Golems, the Shamblers, and they are likely to throw rocks at you. So, be aware, be ready for it. And yep, there they are. And you just really have to be ready to dodge them, or be able to kill them all very quickly. I think all of the golems, all the shamblers are dead. Yeah, okay, good. Unyielding of Mending is decent but not great resistances. That's rubbish. That's also rubbish. When I say these are rubbish as well, a lot of the time I do actually mean they're just garbage for everything. But something like this is okay for pets. It's not great. It's not amazing. I probably wouldn't use it because, not Martin, the other one, the little rat, Hallian. Hallian's crest is available earlier. You will have it by level 30 easily if you want it. And it's just better. So this doesn't need to exist. It's just clogging up the loot pool. Something like Blade Fury here, plus 4 to Blade Arc is not bad. But the spears from the Forgotten Gods section that I've just been running through, there's one of them that'll give you plus 4 to Blade Arc and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So again, this doesn't need to exist. But here we are. I guess the Cold to Pierce conversion could be useful, maybe. Anyway, here's Voldrak, the official boss of Act 2. And I'm just going to run circles around him. So it is somewhat important that you run circles because of the waves. But you can go into melee range and hit him a few times if that's your thing. I don't see the need for it. He's just going to basically die to electrocute damage. Old mate shouldn't have put the fork in the power outlet. But anyway, he's dead. He didn't drop me his blueprint, which is expected, but also unfortunate. So hopefully I won't be needing the Mistborn Talisman at any point in this playthrough. In fact, I'm confident I will not need to use it. I am somewhat confident I won't need to craft anything that needs it. Alright, I'm really hanging out for another 2 devotion points. I'm going to be really looking forward to that. We will see where we get our next 2. There's definitely one in this next cave, which will be very useful, and then I think the next one is going to be to the west of Homestead. Alright, so here's Steven Seagal. How can I help? I will find a way. And Colin wants us to find his sister's body. Spoilers. So we can just kind of run down here. I guess if we did Pine Barrens before Homestead, that would be where I will get the Elemental Storm online. And then we're going to start seeing some serious damage. Alright, another thing to note about this place, these little circles here, this is vitality damage. If you don't have soul shards on your rings, now is a good time to go and get them. Yes, you're going to lose some health. No, it's not going to be a big deal. Trust me when I say they hurt a lot. There are a lot of troll mages in this place, so if you don't have them, definitely go and get them. Alright, don't need that, don't need that. You can have that. That needs a new pile. And we're good to go. Okay. So yeah, I am going to trade a bunch of hit points, which is useful against everything. And I'm going to trade that for vitality resistance. So, oops, salvage, keep item. And salvage, keep item. There we go. Chuck that on there, chuck that on there. These are 20% each, the old ones were 10% each. This will also basically mean energy is not going to be too big of a problem for me as long as I'm being hit with spells. And I'm starting to think I want a belt. Well, I always want new gear, but the belt is something that I'm looking to kind of replace. There's a lot of faction gear coming up in half a level, which is going to be good. Assuming I have the reputation to use it. Alright, so potentially Icrix may be here. He's not here for me. You may also get a totem. It's going to be a savage totem, so look out for anything throwing nets or rocks at you. And there might be a treasure trove here, so bring dynamite. I'm going to show you where all the locations for those are anyway. But, yeah, look at this. Even standing in the seal, I'm taking enough damage that... yeah, it hurts. It hurts. Alright, here is my treasure trove. Obviously, this may be where yours is as well. This is the second of 4 locations where it could be. Let's just put the circle down. Shelob goes down. Love to see it. Bloodfang oil, not really for us, I don't think. This is the next place where your treasure trove may be. You're pretty likely to run into it and just see it anyway, but I figure I'll point it out. And here is the Devotion Shrine.
That skill's not ready.
That went off pretty nicely. One thing I really enjoyed about the Rune of Callister build, last time I played it, it was as a paladin. But you just stack them up around all these shrines and stuff. As soon as you turn it on, things spawn in, they all go off, and everyone dies, and it's a lovely time. But, well, not for them. So I really did enjoy that. If you haven't seen that playthrough and you're interested in a Rune of Callister playthrough, definitely recommend it. If you don't want to watch the playthrough, there is a link in the description of the first episode to take you to the forum guide, if that's something you're interested in. Highly recommend it. It was a good build. Okay, that star there, that's Icrix. I know it says it's Dahlia Tavern, but no, it's Icrix. And we're going to have to fight him. So let's throw a seal down and spread the lightning. Alright, one thing to note as well about Icrix here, when he dies, he's going to summon a couple of little dudes. They're going to die horribly, and they're going to leave very, very nasty poison on the floor. So, don't stand in that. I'm unsure why I didn't take damage from that. I think probably the buff from the Inquisitor Seal was hanging around. And this is the last place where you may find your treasure trove. So you should have it by now. Alright, let me check my reputation here. The ones I'm interested in is Devil's Crossing. Respected. This is good. This means I can get the Devil's Crossing chest and helmet or shoulder if I end up needing them. I'm definitely not getting the helmet, but maybe the shoulders. Probably not. Rover's respected. This is also good. This means I can get the gloves that I want. And we haven't even met Homestead yet, so I won't be getting the boots that I want just yet. Less than ideal. Having said that, though, once we meet them, their reputation goes up very, very quickly because they love it when you kill beasts. And beasts they're everywhere. Okay, so there's the rift, and let's make a run up to Homestead. Ordinarily, I would leave a rift on the way here, and then after I get to Homestead, I would come back and I would do Pine Barrens. However, looking at the time, I'm not going to have time to do all of Pine Barrens, so I would leave a rift somewhere around here and then run north. Like I said, though, I'm not going to have time to do that this episode, so that's going to have to be a next time thing. However, we can definitely make it to Homestead. There's the fight out the front of Homestead, which I'm definitely going to have to do. He looks like he might have a nice weapon. He didn't. He didn't. He had shoulders, which is fine. But that red axe he had, I was thinking, might have been something special. Because look, this guy's got a sword. Is he going to drop that sword? Nope. So what was with that red axe? I think enemies do sometimes have fancy items that they don't drop as well. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Okay, here's Harath the Slaughterer, and we're pretty much just going to kill him. Stand here and watch his health bar slowly tick down from all the lightning electrocute damage. Alright, and how am I going to do this? I want to attack the... There we go, Supreme Spoils. Astral Leg Wraps. Well, well, well. Yeah, these are pretty good. Shame about the loss of armor. Alright, so we've got... what is the problem? Yes, 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 I will clear out your infestation. We've got Isaiah Redden here. He is the merchant who we could have killed back in the beginning of Act 2. But, of course, we didn't, because it's better to have him here selling as resistance potions than it is to have him bleeding out on the side of the road, or, you know, twitching from electricity burns. Also, he sells you just rare stuff. +2 to Word of Pain wouldn't be bad. The rings is the main thing I like from him. But, you know, potentially you could get some nice weapons as well. Alright, before I get too far into any of this, I've just hit level 35. So let's go ahead and dump those in here. What do I want at 40? I'm going to put 1 point in Arcane Empowerment, and it's probably going to be 1 point only. And then, I mean, realistically, I should put a point in Artifact Handling just for this. But that might be a later thing. Alright, I've got a couple of quests to turn in at Dead Man's Gulch here, so we'll go ahead and turn that in. And then level 35, let's go ahead and show you the gear that I'm going to be getting at level 35. 35 is significant because it gives you access to the first set of faction gear. So the ones that I always use pretty much every time. From Devil's Crossing, the Devil's Chest Guard. I'm a little short on physique here, so I'm going to go ahead and chuck... Oh, that worked nicely. My chest doesn't have any physique requirements, or sorry, doesn't have any physique giving components or attributes or anything like that, so I can just swap that in. 5% physical resistance is a pretty big deal. Pierce res I kind of don't care about. Losing those resistances probably doesn't matter too much. I think the Aether and Vitality are the only ones that really did anything there. If you don't have a chosen mask, you can look at getting something like this. This is not amazing, but it is a damage proc on an item. When hit, again, is not great, but it could work. And then the Devil's Spoilers here. If I didn't have the Storm Scorched shoulder guards, I would be trying to wear these. I would probably leave and come back until that 3% physical resist was 5, and I would use these. These would also be acceptable, so I guess whichever one of these comes up with 5% phys res first would be the one I went with. The Devil's Head Guard here is also usable, but again, you want the chosen mask. So, the other thing I want to look at is, of course, the Rover's stuff. So, Keeper of Artifacts here. We're looking at the gloves here. Bunch of stats and elemental resistance on that one. This one's casting. It's basically the same. A little bit less armor. I'm just looking at this and thinking, I kind of want that lightning bolt, but it is when hit. I think I'm going to keep the Adept's grips. But if you don't have a pair of Adept's grips like this, you might not have gotten the blueprint, then Rowari handguards are a good sort of second place. Boots here are kind of okay as well. They're not as good as the Homestead ones, so I'm actually not going to buy those. I can show you the Homestead ones, but I don't think I'm going to be able to buy them. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to buy them just yet. Alright, give me my add-on back. There we go. Finally get an armor upgrade. This is huge, by the way. The increase in armor, the 5% physical resist, 500-ish health as well. This is a massive defensive upgrade. Strongly recommend this for just about any character at level 35. Alright, back to Homestead. I'll show you the gloves, or sorry, the boots, and we can call it a day, I think. These will be something that I come back for. So these ones here, Harvest Foot Pads. That's actually an amazing roll. I'm really upset that I can't buy this right now. 12, 14, 12 is pretty good. I think all of them are 10 to 14, something like that. But you get good resistances, you get move speed, you get health. I mean, really, what more can you ask for? The armor is a little low, but it's still pretty good. So, Harvest Foot Pads. Again, I pretty much use these on every character. Same with the Rowari gloves. I'm only not using them because I have gloves that are kind of the same already. Okay, so Olgrim, I will speak with her, her being Captain Soma down there. Let's grab the free XP on the floor here, and we can grab the quest. Alright, that is gonna be it for today, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and goodbye for now.